I saved for 4 years to buy my first car. My family decided it was a down payment on my brother's wedding. Let me give you some context. I grew up in a household where money was always almost there. Almost enough for the school trip. Almost enough to fix the washing machine. Almost enough to get ahead. I learned early that almost meant no, so I stopped waiting and started doing it myself. At 16, I was bagging groceries. At 17, I picked up weekend shifts at a laundromat. Through my entire final year of school, I was working 25 hours a week while everyone else was worried about prom. I didn't go to prom. I put that money in a separate account I never touched. By the time I was 20, I had just over $6,000 saved. For me, coming from where I came from, that number felt enormous. It meant a reliable car so I could take a job farther away that paid better. It meant not depending on anyone. It meant the first real solid thing I had ever built by myself. I told exactly one person, my mom, because she noticed the envelope in my drawer when she was helping me move some boxes and asked directly. I explained what it was for. She nodded, said she was proud of me, and I believed her. 3 weeks later, my brother announced his engagement at Sunday dinner. I was happy for him. I liked his girlfriend. I smiled and hugged them both and meant it. Then my mom, at that same table, said, "We'll need to figure out how to make this beautiful for them." And she looked at me when she said it. Not at my brother, not at the room, at me. I felt something tighten in my chest, but told myself I was reading too much into it. The following weekend, my mom sat me down privately. She said the family didn't have enough saved for a proper wedding venue. She said my brother deserved a good start. She said she knew I had money put away and that it wouldn't all be needed for a car right now, would it? I asked her how she knew the amount. She didn't answer that directly. I said no, calmly, clearly, without raising my voice. I explained what that money was for and how long it took me to save it and what it meant for my life, not just my transportation. She said she understood. The conversation ended. I thought it was over. It wasn't over. The next family dinner, my brother brought it up himself. Not angrily, just casually, like it had already been decided. Something about, once we have the venue deposit sorted, and a glance toward me that made my stomach drop. He knew. She'd told him. I said quietly that I hadn't agreed to anything. The table went uncomfortable. My brother's fiancé looked confused. My dad, who had not worked a consistent job in 3 years, said that family sacrifices for family. My mom said I had always been practical, and surely I could see the bigger picture. I asked my dad when he had last sacrificed anything. The table went silent. My brother said I was being cruel. My mom's eyes filled with tears. My brother's fiancé excused herself to the bathroom and didn't come back for 10 minutes. I said that I was not being cruel. I was being clear. That money belonged to me. I had earned every dollar of it without any help from anyone in that room. I was not angry, I said. I was just not doing this. I picked up my plate, brought it to the kitchen, and drove home. The messages started around 9 p.m. My brother saying I embarrassed him. My mom saying I had ruined the mood of the announcement. 2 aunts who hadn't even been at dinner somehow already had opinions. I read them all the way through once. Then I put my phone face down on my nightstand and went to sleep. I bought the car 6 weeks later, a 4-year-old sedan with low mileage and a clean history. I drove it to a job interview across the city the following Monday and got the position. My brother's wedding ended up being at a community hall. It looked fine in the photos. Nobody asked me to contribute again.